Imagine this for a moment. A really high-stakes drama unfolding. You've got a powerful public figure. He's trying this desperate escape, actually scaling walls.
Wow.
And then even tossing evidence like phones into a drain. It sounds like something from a thriller.
Right, it really does.
But this isn't a movie script. This is the gripping reality that just played out in Murshidabad.
Yeah, we've been tracking this story coming out of West Bengal. It's explosive. It's really grabbed the nation's attention.
Absolutely. And it's exposed some, frankly, deep cracks in public trust. We're talking about the Bengal school job scam. It's become this whole saga of alleged corruption, shattered dreams for so many, and this relentless chase for accountability.
It really has.
So today, that's what we're doing. We're taking you, our listeners, on a deep dive into this really intricate case.
Okay.
Our mission, really, is to unpack the latest developments, these dramatic events we just mentioned, and then peel back the layers of how this alleged scam actually operated.
Right, get into the mechanics.
Exactly. Identify the key figures who seem to be tangled up in this whole web. And crucially, explore the human cost, and the wider societal cost, too.
That's so important. The human element often gets lost.
It does. So get ready. It's a story that's as complex as it is, compelling. And it offers a critical look at how public institutions can be compromised and what that means for, the fabric of society.
It's often the quiet, painstaking work of investigators that, pushes these cases forward day by day.
Right.
But sometimes you get these moments of just intense drama, and they bring the whole thing into sharp public focus.
Like a spotlight suddenly switches on.
Exactly. And that's certainly what we saw here. It just makes the intensity of the fight against this alleged corruption, undeniable.
Indeed. And that very dramatic moment takes us straight to the town of Burwan in Murshidabad district.
Right.
It was just days ago, the morning of August 25th, 2025. Burwan suddenly became the epicenter of this high-stakes operation. Federal investigators moved in.
That's right. We saw officials from the Enforcement Directorate, the ED, and they were backed up by the Central Reserve Police Force.
Serious stuff.
Yeah, descending on the residence of Jiban Krishna Saha. Now, he's a pretty powerful Trinamool Congress MLA, represents the Burwan Assembly constituency.
And he wasn't exactly unknown in this investigation.
No, not at all. He'd already emerged as a key figure, someone under scrutiny in this ongoing school job scam investigation.
So the narrative then takes this, almost unbelievable turn. As the ED closes in, Saha reportedly tries this daring escape.
Yeah, I saw the reports. Trying to scale a wall.
Trying to scale a wall at his own residence.
Yeah.
Seemingly trying to evade capture, and then in what looks like a frantic bid to destroy evidence,
The phones.
he allegedly tossed his mobile phone straight into a nearby drain. I mean, it just paints such a vivid picture, doesn't it? The urgency, the desperation.
Absolutely. And, despite that attempt, those phones were later recovered.
They got them back.
They did. But the image of this drenched MLA being apprehended, amongst vegetation and debris near the drain.
Yeah.
It circulated so widely. It became this kind of public symbol, really, of the alleged lengths some individuals might go to avoid accountability, maybe obstruct justice in such a high-profile case.
Okay, so he'd been arrested before in this case, right? And
Right.
then got bail. How significant is this rearrest by the ED? Does it feel like a turning point, or is it just, another step in a really long legal fight?
Well, I think it's significant. This rearrest, it was formalized under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, the PMLA.
Okay.
And the reason cited was his alleged non-cooperation during the probe. It really highlights a crucial aspect of these complex investigations.
Yeah.
They're often multi-layered.
Right, different agencies involved.
Exactly. Saha had been arrested previously, as you said, by another agency, the CBI, back in April 2023.
Right.
Then he was released on bail in May 2024. So the ED stepping in now suggests that the net is, continually tightening. New evidence might emerge.
Yeah.
Or non-compliance itself, like the alleged non-cooperation, can trigger further, more targeted action by different agencies. They're pursuing various facets of the alleged crime.
Yeah.
The core irregularities, and then the money laundering aspect.
So two different angles, potentially.
At least.
So what does this sort of relentless pursuit mean for the bigger picture, for the Bengal school job scam itself? I mean, at its heart, this whole scandal is about widespread irregularities, right, in recruitment.
Yeah, teachers, non-teaching staff.
Yeah.
Across government-sponsored and aided schools in West Bengal.
And for countless people who genuinely wanted to be educators, it's just a massive breach of trust, isn't it?
A profound breach, yeah.
Yeah.
But it does make you ask, how did this alleged system, this sort of systemic fraud, as one court called it, How did it even come into being?
Where did it start?
Well, the roots seem to trace back to around 2014. There was a state government notification then for teacher appointments through the state-level selection test, the SLST.
Okay, standard procedure.
Seemingly. But then, by 2016, under the watch of the education minister at the time, Partha Chatterjee, well, the recruitment process allegedly started to unravel. It began moving significantly away from its intended, merit-based purpose.
Let's try and unpack the mechanics then. How did this alleged corruption actually work? Investigations have apparently revealed a pretty chilling pattern.
Yeah, it's quite something. Thousands of positions were reportedly filled through, well, illicit means, bribery, blatant favoritism, even outright manipulation of the merit lists.
Manipulation? How so?
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
You might have candidates with lower marks, allegedly ranking higher than genuinely deserving applicants.
So, jumping the queue, essentially?
Jumping the queue, exactly. Or, even more brazenly, some people who apparently never even appeared on a merit list anywhere, mysteriously getting actual appointment letters.
Wow. That's a fundamental subversion of any fair system, isn't it?
Completely. And the scale of it is just immense. You mentioned the court description. The Supreme Court itself called this a systemic fraud. That's a really powerful term.
It is.
And just last year, in 2024, the Calcutta High Court took the drastic step of ordering the cancellation of 25,753 appointments.
25,000.
753. A decision that, understandably, sent shockwaves across the entire state.
I can only imagine.
Now, the Supreme Court later stayed that specific order that was in May 2024, allowing the investigation to continue for now. But that number, 25,753, it clearly illustrates the staggering impact on people's lives, their careers.
Yeah. It really brings the scale home. And it's important to understand the institutions involved here, too, right? The School Service Commission, the SSC.
They're the ones responsible for the recruitment, so they're absolutely central to the allegations.
Right at the heart of it.
And then, of course, you have the investigations being conducted by the Central Bureau of Investigation, the CBI, and the Enforcement Directorate, the ED, as we saw with Saha's arrest.
Okay. Now, we talked about Jiban Krishna Saha, but he's just one piece of this, isn't he? This seems like a much bigger puzzle, a web of alleged influence that investigators are trying to map out.
Definitely. This investigation has implicated several other high-profile figures, people who held significant power and influence.
Like who? Who are the other key players?
Well, one really central figure is Partha Chatterjee. He was the powerful former education minister we mentioned earlier.
Right, under whose watch things allegedly started to unravel.
Exactly. He was arrested by the ED way back in July 2022. And interestingly, he actually remains in custody. There was a split court verdict on his bail pleas, which kind of indicates the severity and maybe the complexity of the charges against him.
Still in custody after all this time.
Okay.
And then there was the aide, right? Arpita Mukherjee.
Yes, Arpita Mukherjee, a close aide of Chatterjee. And her case brought some of the most visually shocking evidence to light.
The cash.
The cash. Investigators seized an absolutely astonishing amount from her residence, 50 crore rupees in cash.
50 crore? What is that in dollars? Around 6 million US dollars.
Roughly, yeah. Plus over 1 crore rupees worth of jewelry. This was also back in July 2022.
Just incredible sums.
Incredible. Now, she was actually granted bail in November 2024, but the image, those pictures of just stacks and stacks of cash, it remains this iconic and, frankly, deeply disturbing symbol of the alleged corruption.
A symbol you can't easily forget. Any other key names?
Well, there's also Manik Bhattacharya. He's another former TMC MLA. And he was also the ex-president of the West Bengal Board of Primary Education.
Ah, so connecting the political side with the education board itself.
Precisely. He was also arrested in connection with the scam. So what this suggests is potentially a broad network. It seems to touch various levels of the education bureaucracy and the political leadership rather than just being a few isolated incidents.
It sounds incredibly widespread. And the financial magnitude of this whole alleged operation, it's just staggering, isn't it?
It really is. The evidence seems to point towards a complex money laundering operation.
Right.
Millions upon millions of rupees allegedly changed hands. Estimates suggest thousands of these jobs were effectively sold.
Sold for cash.
For cash payments, yeah. Ranging anywhere from lakhs, tens of thousands of dollars up to crores of rupees, which could be hundreds of thousands, maybe even touching millions of dollars in some cases.
Just buying public position.
That's what it looks like, a systematic monetization of public service roles.
And that's where the ED's PMLA investigation comes in, right? Tracing that money.
Exactly. The ED's probe, under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, has been meticulously trying to trace this money trail. Their work is detailing how these illicit funds were allegedly funneled, perhaps through multiple channels, multiple accounts,
Laundering it.
to secure these teaching positions. Often, as you keep saying, at the expense of genuinely qualified candidates who earned their place through merit. This financial investigation is absolutely critical to understanding the full scope, the full mechanism of the alleged fraud.
So let's step back for a second. This isn't just a story about, money changing hands or a few specific individuals, is it? It feels like a stark reminder of how vulnerable our public institutions can be.
Completely. When public jobs, especially jobs in education, which, let's face it, are often seen as pathways to social mobility, a way to build a better future.
Right, a respected profession.
Exactly. When those are tainted by corruption, it just fundamentally erodes faith in the whole system.
Yeah, the true cost isn't just financial, is it? It's this deep-seated suspicion that must now shadow, every public service announcement, every government initiative. It must make genuine reform incredibly difficult.
It's like a corrosive effect. This kind of fraud doesn't just erode faith. It can almost rewrite the social contract for a generation, can't it? It sort of teaches them that maybe merit is secondary to connections or money.
A terrible lesson.
A terrible lesson that can paralyze genuine aspiration. And inevitably, this leads to significant political fallout.
Yeah.
The scam has cast a really heavy shadow over the current state government.
And critics from opposing parties have definitely seized on it.
Oh, absolutely. They've accused the government of fostering a culture of corruption. Saw national figures weighing in, too.
Yeah, the Prime Minister, for instance, certainly commented. Described the state as grappling with widespread violence, insecurity, unemployment, and pervasive corruption.
And specifically pointed to the school job scam.
Right, pointing to the scam as evidence of a failure in governance. It became a major political talking point.
And in response, you had the ruling party accusing the central government of politicizing the issue, asserting that they still have the support of the state's people.
So the usual political back and forth.
Pretty much. It highlights the contentious nature of these investigations, the different narratives at play. But, regardless of political affiliations, the situation just unequivocally highlights these deep-seated issues within the state's recruitment processes.
Yeah.
And it raises really serious questions about the integrity of public institutions that are supposed to serve the public good.
Absolutely. And beyond all the headlines, beyond the political battles, we have to remember the human toll here. Yeah. For those 25,753 individuals whose appointments were canceled by the High Court, the fallout must have been just devastating.
Utterly devastating. Many of these teachers, the staff, they invested years of preparation, often significant financial resources too, training, applications.
Yeah, maybe taking loans.
Exactly.
Right.
Only to find themselves caught up in this web of alleged corruption that they likely had no part in creating. Imagine dedicating your life, your passion, to becoming an educator.
And then this happens.
Only for your dream, your livelihood, to be shattered by alleged systemic fraud. The social impact is just undeniable.
And the knock-on effects, too.
Well, naturally, the loss of these positions has left countless families in real financial distress. It sparked widespread protests across the state, too.
Understandably.
This isn't just about individual jobs. It's about household stability, community well-being being severely disrupted. It leaves a lasting scar.
And it's not just the job seekers or the people who lost their jobs who suffer, is it? The students pay a price, too.
That's a critical point. These irregularities in recruitment, they raise really serious concerns about the quality of education in the state schools.
Because you might have unqualified people teaching.
Exactly. There are reports suggesting that unqualified candidates were appointed over those with higher merit. This potential ripple effect on the education system itself, it will likely be felt for years. It impacts generations of students. The overall learning environment is huge.
So it's a mess. Where do we possibly go from here? What's the road ahead look like?
Well, the ED's recent arrest of Jiban Krishna Saha is, as we said, undoubtedly a significant milestone.
But probably not the end.
Unlikely to be the final chapter, no. Their continued focus on tracing that money trail suggests, new evidence could still emerge. It could potentially implicate additional individuals.
Right. And the CBI is still investigating, too?
Yes, the CBI is also actively probing irregularities across various staff categories, so the investigations are very much ongoing on multiple fronts.
And there are legal milestones coming up.
Yes. Key legal dates to watch. The Supreme Court is scheduled to hear the pleas challenging that Calcutta High Court cancellation of the 25,753 appointments. That hearing is set for January 2026.
So still some time away, but a huge decision looming.
A huge decision with potentially far-reaching implications for everyone affected. And crucially, the court has also emphasized something important.
What's that?
That any illegally appointed individuals, if they're ultimately found guilty, would be required to refund their salaries.
Wow. Clawback.
Essentially, yes. It underlines this principle of accountability, which is obviously vital for trying to restore public confidence.
Okay, so after such a profound breach, how do you even begin to rebuild that trust? It seems like a monumental task.
It is. Restoring faith in public institutions. It's going to require much more than just arrests and legal battles, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't just punish your way back to trust.
Exactly. It demands real systemic reforms. Things like perhaps digitizing records to make things more transparent, strengthening oversight mechanisms to try and prevent future abuses, and critically, ensuring that merit-based systems are rigorously upheld. No exceptions.
It needs to be watertight.
Watertight. And you know, in a broader context, this whole scam is more than just a news story for the people of West Bengal. It feels like a powerful call to action.
How so?
It just highlights the absolute importance of holding public officials accountable, of demanding governance that genuinely prioritizes the public good above everything else. The long-term health of our democratic institutions really depends on that kind of vigilance, that sustained demand for integrity from citizens.
Yeah. So this deep dive we've taken today into the Bengal school job scam, it really reveals a complex and, frankly, deeply troubling narrative.
It does.
It's a story not just about alleged corruption at high levels, which is bad enough,
Right.
but about the profound impact it has on individuals, on an entire education system, and on the very trust that's supposed to underpin a functioning society. It's a stark reminder, I think, that the pursuit of justice, even when it's slow and arduous, is absolutely essential.
Couldn't agree more. And as these investigations continue, as the legal battles unfold over the coming months and years, it leaves us with a really important question to ponder. And maybe this is one for you, our listener, to think about too.
Okay.
Beyond the specific legal remedies in this case, what fundamental shifts, maybe in our societal expectations, maybe in our institutional safeguards, what changes are truly necessary to prevent merit from being so catastrophically sidelined by corruption? How do we ensure that the dreams of deserving individuals are never again shattered by these kinds of systemic failures?